Well, hi. It's Friday, and I've dipped into my files again, and wanted to share this piece with you. It's a interview that took place with Henry Nouwen. Henry Nouwen was a Catholic priest. He was an academic, had a PhD in psychology, and was a lecturer at Yale University. But he was also quite an amazing man in his connection and service of other people. He went to South America in order to learn Spanish and the Spanish culture, because he saw that the US would have a big connection in the future with people from South America. He wanted to understand them. In his latter days, he actually lived in a group house with people who were intellectually disabled, and formed a relationship with a man there who he was able to help and elevate to, a place of respect in the community. But Henry Nouwen, so I guess my question is, what makes a person such a servant? And he talks about what the spiritual life is in this interview. This is what he says. He says, the spiritual life is the life in which we try to fulfill the great commandment, which says that we are to love God with all our heart, with all our soul, and with all our mind. And we are to love our neighbour as ourselves. That's very important, because there are many people who think that means that we give 33% to God, 33% to our neighbour, and 33% to ourselves. The spiritual life means that we love God with our whole heart, with our whole soul, and with our whole mind. And as a result, we discover who our neighbour is, and we also discover who we are. The spiritual life is the life of God's Spirit within us. Jesus said, it's good for you good for me to leave, because unless I leave, I cannot send my Spirit. And when I leave, I will send the Spirit, and he will lead you into full truth. Truth does not mean doctrines, it actually means betrothal. In other words, the Spirit will lead us into a full relationship, a betrothal with God. The spiritual life is God's breath in us. Paul said we can't even pray unless the Spirit prays in us. Jesus said that all we know from God has come through the Spirit. He didn't say that he knew a lot and we could find out a few things, but Jesus invited us to come and live, that he would come and live within us, and that we could live the life that he lived as a result. So Henry Nouwen was really, as a result of giving God his whole mind, whole body, whole soul, he became a great servant. And there was another article I read this week that made 7 suggestions of ways that we could serve our community in this pandemic. Firstly, it said make sure that we are able to respond, In another article I read this week, there was a suggestion that of 7 ways we could serve our community. The first one is to express our appreciation to first responders who have worked so hard and been in such risky situations. The second is to make some chalk art on the footpath, celebrating and with messages of encouragement. The third is to make a blessing bag and give it to one of our neighbours. Or perhaps do a prayer walk around our neighbourhood, praying for people and for God's Spirit to move. Another is to set aside the stimulus check that some of us are receiving, and to make sure that that's not just for ourselves, but it's for people in our neighbourhood who might have needs, now or into the future. Another is to be present in the front yard a couple of times a week to make sure that we can connect and have conversations with people. Keeping social distancing, of course. And the next is to have a social distancing coffee hour where we are able to maintain social distance, but nevertheless give someone a coffee and have some interaction with them. Well, you can work out which of those might work for you in your circumstances. God bless you, and bye for now.